For years, Nancy Pelosi has dominated San Francisco politics, California politics, and national politics. But the time is coming where she is going to announce her retirement. But she's got a plot underway to make sure her chosen successor wins her seat. Coming up, we'll tell you who will replace Nancy Pelosi and why a lot of Democrat progressives are angry about it. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and there is nothing I can agree with Nancy Pelosi on. I mean, she's nasty, she's wrong on the policies and the issues, but I will tell you this, that I acknowledge she is a very capable political operator. She is the dominant force in the Democrat Party and has been for well over 20 years. No one has been able to dethrone her. No one has been able to match her. Not even Republicans. She runs circles around them. But the time is coming for her to step down. I mean, she's what? See, she's 8 years older than Betty White, 119. Okay, maybe not that old, but she's definitely staying because she's trying to manipulate the election on who gets to replace her. She was the House Speaker until 2022 when Republicans took back over. She stepped out of the role as Democrat leader of the House Democrats, but really she's been still the leader. Who is it? Hakeem Jeffries is in theory the Democrat leader, but not really. Nancy Pelosi continues to call the shots in the House of Representatives. And people assumed that she would do one term and then leave. But that's not happening because she decided to run again in 2024. People were surprised. I wasn't surprised in the least. At the time, they said, well, the reason why she's doing this is that Nancy Pelosi wants to be around for Joe Biden's second term. Really? She just booted Biden off the ticket. No, she did it for one reason and one reason only. She stayed for the 2022 to 2024 cycle because she actually thought she was going to be House Speaker. She said, maybe we can win in 2022. She didn't, so she had to fill out that term. Then she decided to stay and run again in 2024 because it's all part of her plan to anoint her daughter to become the successor in her seat. Let me explain why. And of course, the liberal media won't explain because it shows just how manipulative Nancy Pelosi really is. There are two candidates running for her seat. One is Christine Pelosi. There she is, the daughter of Nancy Pelosi. She's a political operative. I guess you could call her a political operative. The only qualification she has is her hereditary. She's the daughter of Nancy Pelosi. Let's be clear. She's the daughter of Nancy Pelosi. That's why she has the status that she has. And the entire Pelosi machine will back her because they're gifting this seat to her. Here's who she's opposed by. The hometown gay, progressive state senator Scott Wiener. And I actually tweeted a photo of him and he was really upset. But hey, you can see for yourself. Here's me a couple months ago saying, meet Senator Scott Wiener. He's the creep that authored bills that passed this week to legalize street prostitution, fund illegal drug injection sites. He wants to give predators more rights. Is anyone surprised? Yeah, that's him. I'm sure he's going to put that on a campaign flyer too. Come on, just insanity. All right. Even in San Francisco, people are like, here, have a coat. Anyways, so the two of them are going to square off for this seat. And Nancy Pelosi knows that Scott Wiener actually does have a base of support because of all the left-wing lunatic policies that he's engaged in. And while Nancy Pelosi, nobody's going to go up against, the concept of hereditary gifting of a congressional seat. It doesn't go over well with these woke, so woke progressives up in San Francisco. So why did she run in 2024? Simple. If she were to step down, Scott Wiener would have a free shot at her seat. See, Scott Wiener has a 4-year state Senate term versus an assembly term that's up 2 years, every 2 years. So he's in the middle of his 4-year term. Had she stepped down in 2024, Scott Wiener would be in the middle of a 4-year term. He could run for her seat without any fear that if he lost, he'd be out of politics for a period of time. But in 2026, his term ends. So if he runs for the congressional seat, it puts more pressure on him, because if he loses, he's out. Maybe forever, maybe for a period of time. That's why she ran in 24. She certainly doesn't want to resign midterm because it sets up for a special election, which again would, I think, benefit someone like Scott Wiener because he's got a bunch more grassroots support than Christine Pelosi. Christine Pelosi, again, is the anointed candidate, hasn't earned it, isn't qualified. She's the hereditary choice. No one likes that. But for low information voters in a normal turnout election, it's better for Christine Pelosi. Plus, money does more in a big turnout election than in a special election. Scott Wiener isn't going to have the money that Nancy Pelosi can basically allocate to her daughter. I would consider this actually a coin toss race. Oh, I know. Looking at this picture, yeah, he could actually beat Christine Pelosi. I mean, we're talking San Francisco politics. So a campaign is already underway by the Pelosi machine to go after Scott Wiener. San Francisco Standard had this recent story. Christine Pelosi breaks her silence on the shadow campaign against Scott Wiener. Political circles are buzzing. Have you heard about the shadow campaign between State Senator Scott Wiener and the Pelosi dynasty? Basically, Pelosi has been blocking Wiener at every single turn. And, of course, she's calling in all sorts of favors, getting politicians to oppose his bills. And, of course, the Pelosi people are like, we don't know what you're talking about. We have no knowledge. Is there a congressional race happening? No, Nancy's going to be in there for the next 80 years. She's not retiring until she's 226. Look, I'm going to grab the box of popcorn and I'm going to have great fun watching this. Do you think a Republican can win this seat? No. I just like the dem-on-dem violence here. Watching, principles go to the wayside and vicious political infighting on the left and a bunch of money wasted. I don't care for either one of them, but boy, I hope they tear each other up so badly. At Reform California, of course, we're going to be focusing on other seats because we never want any Pelosi or Scott Wiener to ever be in the majority in Congress. And so check out our website, reformcalifornia.org. We are supporting a bunch of candidates in other congressional seats and state assembly, state legislative seats. We need your help. Check out our Plain English Voter Guide for this election. It gives you the truth about the ballot measures that you're reading on your ballot that are very deceptively worded. So go to reformcalifornia.org and join the fight. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and smash that notification button so you can stay up to date on all the developments in California news and politics. Also, please visit the website, reformcalifornia.org, for ongoing news coverage and to join one of our campaigns in the fight to take back our state. If you can, please sign up as a volunteer or chip in a contribution. This episode of Reform California with Carl DeMaio, paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly 2024.